Friends, today we are going to start the topic that is search and seizure. It is most important chapter for exam point of view. A category topic. Out of this topic we can get minimum 4 marks. It consisting of two parts. First one is search and seizure. Second one is the search assessment. Okay. Very important chapter. Get ready. Now in this chapter we are going to cover the following sections. First one is 132. Next one is 132 subsection 1. 132 subsection 3, 132 subsection 9a, 132 subsection 9b, and after that 132 subsection 9c, and 132a, 132b. Next one, assessment sections are as follows: 153a, 153b, as well as 153c and 153d. Next one, prosecution provisions 275a and 275b, and penalty provision is section 271 AAB, and miscellaneous provision 292 CC. Friends, once this chapter is done, we are going to revise all the topics. All these topics we are going to cover. Okay, chalo. Let me start the topic. First one is when we can do search, what are the circumstances, who can do the search, and who can give the authorization. Okay, fine. Chalo. First one, friends, in income tax authorities, now that is covered under section 116. Total 10 in numbers, 10 authorities are there. Out of 10 authorities, certain person can give authorization for search and seizure. So those people who can give authorization is called as authorizing officer. To whom the authorization is given is called as authorized officer. Okay, chalo. By seeing this point itself, you can understand now authorizing officer will give the permission. Authorized officer will go for ground level for search and seizure purpose. Now, first let me introduce the topic section 116 income tax authorities. Under that, number 1 CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. After that, CC, Chief Commissioner and Commissioner. Next one, Additional Commissioner, Joint Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner, ITO. Next one is number 9, that is Tax Recovery Officer. Number 10 is the Inspector. Total 10 in number. Out of that, take it for granted, CC and C. Now, Commissioner and Chief Commissioner, these two members can give authorization. That is the reason they are called as authorizing authorities. I repeat, authorizing authority. Next one. Now, these persons can give authorization to their subordinates. Subordinates are none other than Additional Commissioner to Joint Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner and ITO. So that is the reason these persons are called as authorized officer. Okay, chalo. So authorizing officer, authorized officer we have covered. So Commissioner or Chief Commissioner or Principal Chief Commissioner or Principal Commissioner. See this terminology. Now first one is CC, that is Chief Commissioner, or Director General, or PCC, Principal Chief Commissioner. Next one, Commissioner or Director or Principal Commissioner. These persons can give authorization for search and seizure. That is the reason they are called as authorizing officer. Okay, chalo. Their subordinates, that is Additional, Joint, Deputy, Assistant, ITO. These persons are called as authorized officers. Okay, chalo. Friends, in some areas, you will not find Commissioner as well as Chief Commissioner. In that case, CBDT empowers Additional Commissioner or Joint Commissioner to act as a authorizing authorities. I repeat, certain cases, in certain circumstances, CBDT empowers Additional Commissioner or Joint Commissioner to act as a authorizing officer. Whenever these two persons are authorizing officers, then subordinates can act as a authorized officer. Okay, so Additional as well as Joint can do as a authorizing officer only if they are empowered by the CBDT, that is Central Board of Direct Taxes. But one thing for sure, at the same time they cannot act as a authorizing officer as well as authorized officer. At the same time they cannot act. Okay, chalo. So point number 1, authorizing officer, that is as I told you earlier, CC as well as C, Chief Commissioner and Commissioner. Okay, but in some circumstances, Additional Commissioner and Joint Commissioner, provided if they are authorized by the board, Central Board of Direct Taxes, then only they can act as a authorizing officer. Okay, next one, authorized officers, as usual, subordinates, that means Additional, Joint, Deputy, Assistant, ITO. These members can act as a authorized officer. Okay, next one. No authorization shall be issued by the additional director or additional commissioner or joint director or joint commissioner unless he has been empowered by CBDT to do so. So they can act as a authorizing authority only if they are empowered by the Central Board of Direct Taxes. Otherwise they cannot act as a authorizing officers. Okay friends, with this we have done with the topic who are the authorizing authority and who are the authorized authority we have covered. Okay, chalo. Next one. Under what circumstances we can go for search as well as seizure? Search and seizure. What are the circumstances we can invoke the provisions of search and seizure? Okay, chalo. Point number 1. Certain people will have black money. Now in general public this word is very popular. He has black money. In some cinemas also, the villain will have so much of black money, hero will communicate the same to income tax department. Okay, same way, if you have the black money, automatically department has reasons to believe, I repeat, they must have some evidence, reasons to believe that SSC has undisclosed income or SSC has undisclosed bullion or undisclosed assets, then automatically they can invoke the provisions of search and seizure. So see the word, assessing officer has reasons to believe that SSC has undisclosed income as well as undisclosed assets as well as undisclosed bullion. In that case we can invoke the provisions of search and seizure. Okay, chalo. Next one, another thing very important, this is okay, chalo. Summons issued under section 131. I repeat, summons issued under section 131. Here just I would like to add one point. Friends, in certain cases central government has given the power to income tax authority to act as a civil court. That means they have civil court powers. So income tax authorities will have civil court powers. Therefore income tax authorities, certain cases they can issue the summons. So summons issued under section 131 or else notice issued under section 142 subsection 1. That means requiring the SSC to furnish the return of income or else requiring the SSC to produce books of accounts. For that purpose, notice under section 142 subsection 1 class 1 has been issued. But as usual, SSC has not complied with the notice or not complied with the summons. Okay, SSC fails to comply with the notice or SSC fails to comply with the summons. In that case, if assessing officer has reasons to believe that SSC has not complied with that notice, then immediately we can go for search and seizure. Okay, chalo. But here I would like to add one more point here. That notice not issued might be issued, but SSC may not comply with such notice or such summons. Student may have the doubt, sir, first one is okay, I issued, SSC failed to do so. Then what is the second one? That means future tense, might be issued, SSC also may not comply with that one. Okay, chalo. How it is, I will take one illustration. Mr. Ajay Mallya is in abroad. Okay, I changed the name. Ajay Mallya is in UK. What happened, you know? Ajay Mallya is not in a position to answer the notices or answer the summons. But income tax department has given the summons, but he has not replied. Or income tax department has given the notice, he has not replied. So he is not in a position to reply or he is not willing to reply. In this case, department can invoke the provisions of search and seizure on the reasons to believe that SSC may not comply with the notices, even though such notice under section 142(1) or summons under section 131 issued. Okay, chalo. These are the two circumstances ultimately. Point number 1, notice or summons issued but SSC failed to comply. Might be issued but SSC may not comply. Okay. Second one, SSC has undisclosed income or undisclosed bullion or undisclosed money. Okay. Next one, assessing officer must have reasons to believe. That means there must be some evidence, that there must be some information that SSC has the black money or else SSC has not complied with the notice. In that case only authorizing officer can issue the authority to do search and seizure to authorized officer. These are the circumstances. With this, we have covered who are the authorizing authority, who are the authorized authority, and what are the circumstances. Okay, chalo. Friends, for better understanding purpose, I would like to take one illustration here. Okay, see this one. This is the house belonging to one person who is residing in Ballari, that is in Karnataka state. Now Karnataka Commissioner of Income Tax has given authority to their subordinates, additional as well as joint commissioner, to go for search and seizure. Now here one SSC is there. His name is Mr. B. Okay, fine. So very big house. So he has so many rooms in the house. Okay, so many rooms. And next one, he has helicopter also. And he has so many number of vehicles, that is cars he has. And he has so much of gold, bullion, everything he has. Okay, fine. So one day what happened? He has not complied with the notices or summons, or else he has black money and not offered to income tax. So obviously government got the info and government wanted to invoke the provisions of section 132, that nothing but search and seizure. Now income tax department means especially authorized officer will come for raid. Now our next topic, what are the powers of authorized officer? I repeat, powers of authorized officers we are going to cover. Chalo, point number one. First one is enter. Tell me where we can enter. We can enter any place. We can enter his home or his office or is any building or warehouse or godown or helicopter or vehicles. Any place we can enter. So the first one is enter. Where we can enter, that is the question. Friends, see the first one. We can enter any place or any building or any vessel or any vehicle or any aircraft. So you know, any place means that is office or that is maybe commercial place or else go down, anything or any building or any vessel, ship or any vehicle, car or anything or any aircraft or helicopter, anything is covered, provided where he has reasons to suspect that books of accounts or other documents or valuable goods or undisclosed goods are kept. Now if the department got the information that SSC has black money in so and so place or SSC kept the books in so many offices, immediately they can do income tax raid. Okay, for that purpose the first power of authorized officer, enter. Okay, chalo. So we will enter. After entering that, what we will do? We will search. Number two, search any person who is coming in, as well as search any person who is going out. Okay, what is this? Suppose we already entered into the premises of Mr. B for income tax raid purpose. After that, what happened? Some dhobi or some maid or some servants are coming inside. So let them check. Okay, that means search them. As well as is relatives also going outside, then first check them, search. So you have to search any person coming in as well as any person going out. So that is the second power, that is called as search. Okay, first one is the enter, second one is the search. Next, now I will ask the SSC, give me the keys and open the doors. Sometimes what SSC will say, so keys are lost. Some people will say answer like that. What we can do? Can I say I will come tomorrow? Never. We will break. What we will break? Break the locks. Break the locks or break the doors or break the windows to enter into the particular place. So break when the keys are not available. If keys are not available, you can break. Okay, chalo. Next. So I want to raid, income tax raid. We entered, we searched them. Finally, when they have not opened the doors, we may break it, we may break the locks, etc. Now, I need books of accounts. For that purpose, I will ask the SSC to produce books. Give me the chance to verify your books of accounts, but some SSCs may not support us. Or else, some SSC will say, sir, these are in electronic form, I don't know the password and all. Then ask the person, ask the accountant to come and ask the accountant to produce the books of account and give the access to books, access the books to verify the particular things. Okay, like this we have the power. See the word require. Any person who is found in possession or control of any books of accounts or other documents maintained in the electronic form, that is maybe generally SAP or Oracle they are using, no, so that access you can take it, or else physical copy means that books also you can check. For example, if any person failed to afford the facility to verify the books of accounts, then prosecution will be there. So that is section number 275B. I repeat, 275B. Friends, section 275 series is nothing but prosecution, that is imprisonment. B for books of accounts. Memory code. Okay, chalo, important. Already one time they asked in CA final examination. Okay, the two. Nowadays MCQs purpose also these sections most important. See this one. To afford the authorized officer the necessary facility to inspect such books of accounts and other documents. Next one. If anybody failed to do so, then prosecution. 275B. Prosecution for not affording authorized officer to inspect the books of accounts. Then for your info, 2 years rigorous imprisonment plus fine. Okay, 2 years rigorous imprisonment as well as fine will be levied. So this is the prosecution. My important section. Penalties also simultaneously we are covering. 275 means penalty na prosecution. Prosecution. B means that is books of accounts. Okay, here. Next. So we entered, we search, and we break. After that we require books of accounts. They have to produce. One thing, if they have not produced the books of accounts or they have not given the facility to verify the books of accounts, then we can invoke the prosecution provisions under section 275B. But one thing for sure, these provisions we can invoke only in case of SSC, not in the accountant's case. What does it mean? Accountant unable to produce, then that is the case we will not arrest the accountant, we will arrest only the owner, because owner is responsible, whole and sole responsible for the providing facility to inspect the books of accounts, but not the accountants. There is a case law. Okay, chalo. Next, main thing, seizure. Very important, seizure. What we will do? We will take vehicles, we will take the goods, and we will go to department. Simply take the possession of the goods, that is called as seizure. Physical control we will take. Okay, chalo. When I want to seize, generally I will seize the valuable things. Okay, but assets are two types. One is stock in trade, second one is normal assets, that is kind of fixed assets or other assets. Stock in trade, for your information, during the time of search, don't seize stock in trade, don't disturb the business of the SSC. Let him do, let him continue his business. Don't seize his stock in trade. So first one, stock in trade cannot be seized during search. But one thing, in some cases stock in trade is nothing but cash. For example, Muthoot Finance or Manappuram Gold. In the following cases, cash is only the stock, or else that is what you call Western money transfer, or else some foreign exchange dealers. For them, cash is only the stock in trade. In that case, don't seize, or you can seize. Yes, we can seize. Cash always we can seize. Only other stock in trade only you cannot seize. Okay, next one. Other assets, yes, happily you can seize. Any other assets you can seize. You can take the physical control of the particular assets. That is called as physical seizure. See the word, seizure of assets as well as books. First one, stock in trade. Stock in trade also here. First one, other than cash, and second one is the cash. Other than cash, don't seize. Cash, yes, we can seize. Next one, other than stock in trade. Stock in trade, that means fixed assets, any kind of assets. Yes, we can seize. Ornaments, we can seize. Books, yes, we can seize. But what happened? No. During the seizure, we found some difficulties. Certain assets cannot seize because of its volume, or because of its size, or because of its dangerous nature. Dangerous nature. In that case, when you cannot take physical control of the particular asset, what we can do? What we can do? Simply we can seize the particular place itself. That means we will lock the particular room and we will not give the access to the SSE. This is not real seizure. This is treated as deemed seizure or called as constructive seizure. Okay, see the word. Whenever physical seizure is not possible to seize the asset due to volume or size or nature, then assessing officer may serve a notice that do not deal with the goods. He will serve a notice on the SSE. Don't deal with the goods. Don't touch the goods. Don't open the goods. Don't use the goods. Don't deal with the goods because that particular goods are in deemed seizure condition. Okay, chalo. But what happened? Some people will open the door or deal the assets. Some people misuse the assets, or some people deal with particular assets. They try to sell it also, maybe. In that case, prosecution section is there. Section 275A. 275 means prosecution, as I told you earlier. Remember first, 275 prosecution series. A for assets. A for assets. If you seize the assets, if you use the assets unauthorizedly, then prosecution shall be levied for a minimum period of 2 years. 2 years, up to 2 years. Rigorous imprisonment plus fine. Okay, 2 years you will have free boarding and lodging. Okay, chalo. So this is the provision. Next one. We went to B's house for income tax, right? Or else we went to B's office, Mr. B office. But what happened? No, his relative's house also nearby that. But I came to know that his assets are laid in the house of Mr. another relative. In that case, can I seize the other person's assets also? Yes, I can do. That is called as attachment order. Attachment order. So whenever it is not possible to seize due to its volume or its size or its dangerous nature, assessing officer means authorized officer may serve a notice to the particular person. Don't deal with the goods. Don't use the goods. Don't deal the goods or don't sell the goods. But this is valid only for a period of 60 days. I repeat, attachment order is only valid for a period of 60 days. 60 days. That's it. After 60 days, automatically it will get vacated. Okay. The logic behind this as simple as that. Within 60 days, I will do interrogation. I will do investigation. After that, I came to know that, yes, these are belonging to SC. Then automatically, I will continue to seize. Suppose I came to know that these are not belonging to SC. That is only a wrong notion. In this case, I will release the assets. I will hand it over to particular person. Okay. So that means this is a attachment order. But valid only for a period of 60 days. Chalo. With this, we have done with the another power. So the powers are as follows. Number 1, enter. Number 2, search. Number 3, break. Number 4, require. Number next, seizure. Okay. Chalo. Next one. Can I place identification marks? Yes. Can I take the extracts? Yes. See the word. Place marks or identification on any books of accounts or other documents, and take the extracts also. We can take the extract. Photocopies also we can take, and we can take the copies for the purpose of further assessments and all. Chalo. Next one. Can I make note of inventories? Yes. Take the paper and make note of inventories. What are the assets? What are the cash amount? What is the bullion? What is the jewelry? What are all other things? You can write it there. Okay. After that, you have to call 2 respectable persons in the society, in that particular gully or in that area, and you have to take the 2 copies. 1 copy for SSE, 1 copy we can keep with us. Anyhow, make note of inventory. So we can take the extracts, we can take the photocopies, we can place identification marks, as well as we can note the inventory as well as. Next. Search and seizure means department personnel will go to the SSE's house or office or any place. Whenever SSE's place, there may be certain antisocial elements also. Maybe whatever the things, government has given one more power. If you want to go for search and seizure, you can take police assistance also. Take power to take police assistance or other government officials assistance, preferably central government. First police, after that central government assistance you can take. This is not obligation, this is a right given by the government to the particular department, income tax department. See the word. Authorized officer may take the assistance of police as well as other officials of central government or both if required to assist him for the purpose of search and seizure. Search as well as seizure. Chalo. So take the assistance of police as well as central government or both. Next one. Power to examine on both. During the time of search and seizure, we will ask some questions. SSC will answer. That we will record, but we will do it as an examination on both. That means in future, whatever SSC has given right now, that explanations will be used as a evidence in future cases. In further proceedings, that evidence will be used. Okay, chalo. That means be careful. Today you answered something. During assessment, the assessing officer will take particular information as a evidence. If you say, Sara, that day I have just joked for fun, automatically that is another provision, another miscellaneous, another penalty provisions will be levied. So because that is another offense, be careful. So whatever you told that day during the time of search, they will record and they will examine on both. Okay, that is used as a further evidence in the further proceeding, future proceedings. Be careful. See the word. Authorized officers have right to examine on oath any person who is found to be in possession or control of any books of accounts or documents or undisclosed income. So examine on oath. The statement made by such person during the search examination may be used as a evidence in proceedings under this act. Okay, whatever explanations you have given will be used in future as a evidence. Next point. Friends, while doing search and seizure in SSC's house or office, we found assets belonging to someone else. For example, in Ballari we are doing raid, income tax raid in the B's house, Mr. B house or B's office. But in this house, we found some goods belonging to his sister. So his sister staying in Hyderabad. One day when she want to go to Tirupati or somewhere, she want to keep her belongings or her jewelry in her brother's house. Unfortunately, that day only income tax raid took place. So our department officials, they found the goods. Okay, they found the jewelry. Then we will ask Mr. B, whose jewelry is this? Then he may say like this belongs to my sister. Then what Ballari assessing officer or Ballari authorized officer can do? Answer. Whenever this authorized officer is not the assessing officer of the particular person, then he has to hand it over to jurisdictional assessing officer. Jurisdictional assessing officer. So in my example, the Ballari department authorized officer has to submit has to hand over the goods to the authorized officer or assessing officer of the Hyderabad within 60 days. Within 60 days from the last day of the search. Last day of the search. So this is the provision 139 subsection 9A. See the provision, friends, everyone. Handed over to the assessing officer. Where authorized officer is not the assessing officer, then authorized officer should hand over the asset seized to the assessing officer itself within 60 days from the date on which last authorization of search was executed. So from Lays means not that potato chips ma, Lays, last authorization of search executed means last day of search. Some people in the cinema mood, they think that search means it will happen one day. Never, not like that. It may happen 3 days or 7 days. Depends. I know in one particular case, they did the raid almost all for 8 days. 8 days they did the raid. That means they found that many number of books and jewel and gold ornaments and everything. So conclusion ma, search may started on one day and may not complete on the same day. So it will take some time. So starting and ending. So from the ending day, when authorization of search has completed, that day onwards, exactly within 60 days, we will hand it over to the assessing officer of the particular jurisdiction. Okay, chalo. So this is the concept called as section 132 subsection 9a. Once again, I am telling you, if the authorized officer is not the assessing officer, he will hand over the goods to particular jurisdictional assessing officer. I never told you I'm joint commissioner or something. Jurisdictional department personals. That means Ballari we seized the assets. So we need to hand over to Hyderabad's commissioner or Hyderabad's department, income tax department officials. So this is the provision 132 9A. Okay, chalo. Now it's time for 132 subsection 9B. Important? Yes. Because it's amendment, not this year, 2 years back it came into picture. Okay, chalo. That is as follows. 132 9B. Okay, what is this? That is provisional attachment. Provisional attachment. What is the meaning of provisional attachment? Friends, for the best interest of revenue, that means to protect the interest of the central government, interest of the revenue government, we may give attachment order. That is provisional attachment order. That means during that stage, SSC should not deal with the goods. SSC do not dispose the goods. Do not sell the goods. Do not dispose the goods. Do not deal with the goods for a maximum period of 6 months. This power is there with the department official. See the word. During the course of search, within 60 days time from the conclusion of the search party may provisionally attach any property belonging to the SSC. They can do this provisional attachment during search or after search also, but within the time span of 60 days. Within 60 days, they can take a call, okay, that they wanted to go for provisional attachment of the property. But it is valid only for a period of 6 months, only 6 months. After 6 months, automatically that particular attachment order will get vacated. See the word. However, before doing the same, reasons shall be recorded in writing. Reasons shall be recorded in writing. Why you wanted to go for provisional attachment? First write it down. And this is not for interest of the person, interest of the department, interest of the government, interest of the revenue. And this is valid only for a minimum period or maximum period, whatever the time, 6 months, maximum 6 months. After expiry of 6 months, automatically it will be get vacated. So this is the section 132 subsection 9C. Automatically vacated provision is covered under section 132 9C. That provisional attachment is covered under section 132 subsection 9B. Okay, chalo. Friends, with this we have done with the topic, that is seizure and search, as well as some powers we have covered. The powers, just I want to revise. Number 1, enter. Number 2, seize. Number 3, search. Number next, seizure. After that, break. After that, require the books of accounts persons. After that, we have covered examination on both and take the assistance of police or else central government employees. After that, we have covered provisional attachment and make note of inventory and place identification marks or place some take the extracts. So these are the points we have covered so far. Okay, chalo. Next, other powers. What are the other powers of authorized officer? We are going to cover right now. Okay. Yeah. Our next topic 132A, that is requisition. Okay, requisition of assets or books of accounts. Very simple topic. Follow. Friends, Mr. B stayed in Ballari. He is a resident of Karnataka state, Ballari place. One day, income tax department has reasons to believe that he has black money. So we want to go for raid, income tax raid. But meanwhile, what happened? Other department, GST department or CBI or CID, whatever the terms you use, other department officials came and seized the assets. They seized everything. Now tell me, in that case, if you want to seize anything, there you will find nothing you will find, because already the assets are, the books of accounts are seized by some other department as per the provisions of other acts, other law. Then what we can do? So in this case, our authorizing officer will write a letter to the department, other department personnel. After completion of your work, please hand over the goods to, or please hand over the assets or hand over the books to our department personals once your tasks or works have been completed. Okay, see the word. Where a search has already been conducted by authority under any other law, then authorized officer shall require such other authority to deliver the books of accounts and assets seized. We need that books of accounts and we need the assets seized. What are the circumstances? Same answer. Beginning of this topic I told you, no, circumstances under which search can be done. Answer two things, right? SSC has black money, or else SSC has not complied with the summons or notices. Same thing. The authorizing officer can exercise his power in consequence of the information in his possession if he has reasons to believe that, number one, any assets representing only or partly undisclosed income, undisclosed, that is black money. Next one, a person to whom summons issued under section 131 or notice issued under section 142(1), but SSC has not complied, or else might be issued, may not be complied. So these are the circumstances. Same, but only difference is difference between normal seizure and requisition, as simple as that. In normal seizure, we will go directly and we will seize. In this kind of cases, 132A requisition, we cannot go directly because already other department has seized the assets. Then what we can do? Just we will go there and we will issue the requisition letter and they will hand over their goods to us. This is the simple requisition concept. So here and onwards, if you want to say the word assets recovered or assets seized, you have to say two things: assets seized under section 132 or else requisition under section 132A. Here and onwards you have to use the terms parallelly. Okay, chalo. Now 132A, that requisition effect. Simple. Number one, the officer or other authority under other law shall deliver the books of accounts or assets to requisitioning officer, and the delivery may be immediate or the delivery may be after a certain time when they feel that it is not required anymore for them. Next one, then the books or the assets will be handed over by authority under other law to authority under Income Tax Act. They will hand it over. That may be immediate or else that may be in future, after certain time they may hand it over. That's it. This is the topic called as requisition of asset. Okay, start. Now I am going to start the topic called as assessment, that is search assessment. Very very important topic, search assessment. Friends, next topic, very important topic, search assessment. Very important. Under that 4 sections we are going to cover: 153A, 153B, 153C, 153D. 153A, that is search assessment. I repeat, search assessment of SSC, search assessment. 153C, that is search assessment of any person other than SSC. That means I can say SSC's relatives or SSC's associates, other person. For memory code purpose I am telling 153A, A for SSC, 153C, C for cousin of the SSC, cousin. Okay, don't write like this in exam, but memory is also most important. 153B, B for bar. Bar means time limit. Time limit for completion of assessment. How much time or what is the time limit available for completion of the assessment, for passing the search assessment order. Next one, 153D, prior approval is required if you want to pass the order, because search and seizure is not a easy thing. So that is a what you call apex movement. So that is a top movement what we can take in case of black money cases and all. At the time you cannot pass general or normal assessment order. You have to take the permission or prior approval of someone else. So approval of someone else, that is nothing but approval of JCIT is required to pass the assessment order in case of such and seizure. This condition not for every case, only for such and seizure assessment only it is covered. So there are total 4 sections: 153A, 153B, 153C, 153D. So total 4 in numbers. One is such assessment, one is time limit for such assessment or assessment. 153C is such assessment in case of other person. 153D, this is nothing but approval of JCIT. Okay, chalo. Let me start one by one section. First one, 153A, such assessment. Friends, in fact, there are total 4 assessments, that is 153.3, 144, 147, 153A. 143.3, that is called as scrutiny. Scrutiny assessment are also called as regular assessment. If you want to do scrutiny assessment or regular assessment, there is a condition that there must be written. SSC has filed written. No written, no 143. SSC has filed the return, then only assessing officer can do scrutiny assessment or regular assessment. Either way you can call it as scrutiny or regular. 144, this is called as best judgment assessment, or also called as ex parte assessment. Ex parte, because you are not cooperating. In the absence of your cooperation, SSC has not cooperated. In his absence, I am only doing the assessments alone. Whatever I feel here, I am doing the assessment. That is the reason it is called as best judgment assessment or else ex parte assessment. Next one, 147. Escaping assessment. Student may have doubt. What is the meaning of escaping assessment? Some people has not offered certain income to income tax department. In that case, we can go for escaping assessment. Then what is 153A? If you want to do 153A, there is a precondition, prior condition, that is nothing but search must happen under section 132 or else requisition has done under section 132A. Search and seizure happened under 132 as well as requisition has been made under section 132A. In that case only we can do 153A search assessment. See the word, after seizure of the assets under section 132 or requisition of assets under section 132A, assessing officer shall survey notice under section 153A. Student doubt, what is the notice, what is the assessment? Friends, if I want to do assessment, there must be notice. No notice, no assessment at all. Assessing officer has to survey notice. In fact, 4 assessments, right? 143.3. For that, I need to issue notice under section 143.2. Time limit, no, 6 months. 144, best judgment assessment purpose, I need to issue same notice under section 144. Time limit not specified. 147, if you want to do 147 assessment, you must have give the notice under section 148. Time limit is there. Next one, 153A. If you wanted to do 153A search assessment, you have to give the notice also under section 153A. Time limit not there. Not there. No time limit is specified for the purpose of issuance of notice under section 153A. So friends, issuance of notice also one of the precondition to do search and seizure assessment. Search assessment under section 153A. So notice mandatory. But in fact, there is no time limit for issuance of notice. Then student will have the doubt. So that means can I issue the notice after 10 years? Never. There is no time limit for notice, but there is a time limit for assessment. So notice as well as assessment as well as passing the assessment order all together should complete within the set time limit itself. So this is the point as far as search assessment. Assessing officer shall survey notice under section 153A to the SSE requiring him to furnish ROI. Requiring him to furnish ROI. SSE has to furnish return of income in response to notice issued under section 153A. SSE's doubt. Sir, already long ago I have filed the returns. Nothing. The returns are nonsense because you have black money or you have not cooperated with the department. You have not complied with the notice or summons. So therefore I am requesting you, please file the returns, okay, within time limit specified in the notice. I will ask you to file the return within 7 days or 10 days or 1 month, like this. The time limit specified by the assessing officer in the particular notice itself. In fact, no time limit for issuance of notice. Okay, chalo. But there is a time limit only for passing the assessment order. Okay. Next. What is the precondition? Issuance of notice under section 153A is a precondition to make the assessment under section 153A. No notice, no assessment. And no time limit for issuance of notice. That means no more notice as well as assessment should complete within the overall time limit specified under section 153B. 153B is the ultimate time limit. Next. Once notice is issued, shall I need to file the return or not? Yes. For how many years? That is the question. Chalo. I will take one illustration, you will understood better. As of now, my assessment year is 2020-21. My assessment year. In this year, SECH was started. And the same year, SECH was completed. For example, December 1st, 2021, SECH started. And SECH ended 4th December 2021. SECH was ended. Now what is the case? Then assessing officer survey notice requiring the assessee to produce books of accounts and furnish the return for a period of 6 years. I repeat, last 6 years. Past 6 years. Okay. 6 years immediately preceding to the year in which the SECH was started. SECH was started means assessment year 1920, 1890 and 1718 and 1617 as well as 1516 and 1415. So see this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we will request the SSC. SSC has to furnish the return of income for a period of 6 years. 6 years immediately preceding to the year in which the SECH was started. Okay, chalo. I never told you SECH was completed. I told you SECH was started. What is the years? In the year SECH was started. From that year onwards, you have to go back for last 6 years. So 6 years from the end of the year in which 6 years with respect to preceding 6 years we need to furnish the return. This is called as block period. BLOCK, block period. But one amendment has come into picture. This is not only for 6 years and a relevant period also. Relevant period. Year and onwards you can check the word relevant period. Relevant period means another 4 years also. That is 13-14. Next one 12-13 and 11-12 and 10-11. So another 4 years also we can. Total in fact 10 years. Total 10 years. 10 years maximum. But wait. For these 4 years there is a condition. What is the condition? 2 conditions actually. The SECH has completed recently means on or after 1/4/2017. So latest no amendment. That is the reason. SECH must complete on or after 1/4/2017 during after the period. And the black money, the income escaped the tax or undisclosed income must be 50 lakh above. Okay, see the word. Once the notice is issued under section 153A, SSC has to file the return of income for a period of 6 years. Okay, immediately preceding to the previous year in which SECH was started. Okay, next. Further 4 assessment years also, provided SECH was made on or after 1/4/2017 and the income escaped the assessment is 50 lakh, exceeds 50 lakh, more than 50 lakh, as I told you earlier, more than 50 lakh. But one thing for sure, this is not a tax. 50 lakh is not the tax. 50 lakh is the income. If the income escaped more than 50 lakh, automatically they can extend the SECH assessment for not 6 years, another 4 years, total 10 years. Okay, chalo. Once upon a time SECH assessment means generally for maximum 6 years. Nowadays never ever. that is 6 plus another 4. Total would be 10 years. That's it. So notice will be issued. So just imagine one thing. In your house such has happened, or in our office such has completed. Immediately they will seize the assets and go to office, their office. After that they will share love letter for you. That means they will ask you to furnish the return, and they will ask you to produce the books of accounts or some information you have to produce within the time specified by them in that notice. After that they will start the assessment. Okay, chalo. Next, how many years? 6 years. In some cases extra 4 years. One thing for sure, once notice is issued under section 153A, then SSC has to file the return of income within the time specified in the notice. Whatever the circumstances, you have zero income, or you have less income, or you have negative income, or you have more income, immaterial. Once notice as issued under section 153A, compulsory you have to furnish the return of income in response to that notice, that too within the time specified in the notice. Okay, compulsory. But one thing for sure, if you have not furnished the note return in response to that notice, section 276 CC shall be invoked. That means prosecution. So prosecution provision is applicable under section 276 CC for not filing of return of income in response to notice issued under section 153A. So what is that? I can tell you. Tax and period of imprisonment up to 10,000 rupees. Generally no. Under 10,000 above up to 25 lakh, that is minimum 3 months, maximum 2 years. And if the tax evasion amount is more than 25 lakh, then minimum 6 months to maximum 7 years. This is the section 276 CC. Okay, chalo. That means that is a prosecution provision. So if you have not filed the return, then this prosecution provision also may be invoked by the income tax department. Next, it is time for how to do the assessment. We are going to cover right now. Chalo, assessment. We will do assessment. Assessing officer. Assessing officer shall assess or reassess. Students should get that out. Why reassess? Reassess means already you have done assessment earlier. Then obviously during the search block period, again I need to do reassessment second time or third time. So this is the reason it is known as reassessment. Assessing officer shall assess or reassess the income of each assessment year falling in the such 6 years or else 4 years, maybe 4 years, total 10 years, some cases only 6 years. As for the provisions of section 153A, so assessment shall be done for the block period as for section 153A. But what about current year? Sorry, for current year, section 153A is not applicable. Normal assessment proceedings only applicable. Normal provisions only applicable. That may be 143.3 or maybe 144 or maybe 147, whatever the case. But generally 143.3 applicable as well as 144 is only applicable. For what? Which year? For the year in which the search was started. Some people may have doubt. Listen, my assessment year is 2021, Corona period. My next other years, 6 years, you know. After that 4 years also, you know. So this is the 4 years period. This is the 6 years period. Search was started here, search was completed here. So this is the year when search started and completes. Now, for this block period, we need to do assessment as for 153A. For this block period, assessment shall be done as for normal provision 143.3 or 144. So now my point is block period only subject to such assessment, not the current year, only the block period. Okay, chalo. But one thing I can tell you, SSC has also required to file the return for block period as per the provisions of section 153A, but current year he has to file return as for the normal proceedings. So see this one. Assessing officer shall assess or reassess the income of each assessment year falling within the such 6 assessment years and relevant period of 4 years as per the provisions of section 153A. Whereas for the relevant assessment year in which search was started and ended or search was started shall be done as per the normal provisions. That means 143.3 as well as 144 as the case may be, based on the conditions subject to the circumstances of the particular cases. Department assessing officer may assess as per normal provisions. So such assessment is only applicable in case of block period. Okay, normal assessment is are applicable in the year in which search was started. Next topic, what is the time limit and what is the mechanism to do such assessment? As simple as that, friends. Assessment or reassessment shall be made and assessment order shall be passed under section 153A within the time limit specified under section 153B. Now the two, it shall be passed with the approval of JCIT, Joint Commissioner of Income Tax. That is nothing but 153D. So if Joint Commissioner is passing the order, no one's permission is required. If additional commissioner passing the order, nobody permission is required. If subordinates passing the order, then they have to take the permission of the prior approval of the JCIT. Before passing the order, they have to take his consent. So conclusion, so here you know authorities CC as well as C, but as far as assessing officers are concerned, additional, joint, deputy, assistant. So when Joint Commissioner of Income Tax wanted to pass, nobody permission. Additionals, nobody permission. But when deputy wanted to pass that order, JCIT prior approval is required. Assistant want to pass the order, JCIT permission is required. ITO want to pass the order, JCIT permission is required. So prior approval of JCIT is mandatory. That is nothing but 153D. 153D is the section. Next, how to make the assessment? Answer. In fact, there are no particular provision specifying doing particular assessment in particular manner. There is no particular concept. There is no mechanism specified under 153A to do assessment in that particular manner. No such provision. So we can do assessment under 153A, but as for other things we can do. Which are the rates applicable? For example, during last 6 years we are doing assessment. No. Which assessment tax rates are applicable? Answer. That year tax rates only applicable. See the word. The income of each assessment year specified in the particular section shall be chargeable to tax at the rates applicable for such assessment year itself. Not the current year, not in the year in which you are doing assessment under 153A. The rates of particular assessment years only applicable. Okay. Suppose 2018-19 income you are assessing in this year under block assessment, such assessment. Yes, obviously that year tax rates only applicable. Okay. Next, last topic, pending assessments. What is the beauty of, what is the fate of pending assessments? Suppose such happened and assessment is going to start in the assessment year 2021. Now for last 6 years I need to go. So for example 19-20, 18-19, 17-18 like this. Now for this year 18-19 assessment order is pending. 19-20 also assessment order is pending. Now what is the fate of this pending assessments? Answer. These are, suppose they are doing under 143.3, okay, or 144, whatever the thing, it will abate, cancelled, and we need to do fresh assessment under section 153A. So pending assessment shall abate. See the word. Assessments are reassessment relating to any last 6 years and relevant years pending under section 143.3 and 144 and 147. It shall abate and assessment shall be made under section 153A itself. Okay. So all other pending assessments, normal assessment shall abate itself and new assessment shall be made under 153A. The assessing officer will assess or reassess the total income of the such years falling in the block period as for 153A. So any other assessment shall be abated. If regular assessment or reassessment of any such years are pending as on the date of initiation of such, it will be abated. Okay, chalo. Next, what is the fate of those cases which are part of appeal or revision? Answer, it will not abated. Okay, I will take the illustration. My assessment year 2021. For this year we need to go for last 6 years. Suppose 1920 and 1819 and 1718. Let us say 1718 assessment year is pending. The particular assessment order is part of appeal. In that case, it will not abated, it will continue. I repeat, it will continue. See the word, if any assessment order is part of appeal or revision or rectification, then it shall not abate. It shall not abate at all. It will be continued. Suppose if the assessment order is pending, yes, it will be abated. That's it, ma. This is the topic.